grab a drink and have a seat. It's time for Drafty After Dark. With your hosts, Russell James and the Howling Wolf.
Welcome to another episode of Drafty After Dark.
Welcome.
We know you're excited, but we need you to calm the fuck down.
Or don't. Just let the insanity just sink in. Just drip right through.
Here today with producer Barry.
What's up?
And the Howling Wolf.
What's up?
And I'm your host, Russell James. We got a short show for you today. I'm going to review Masterclass, as I've almost finished my first lesson plan, I guess, is what it's called. It's not what it's called.
I don't know.
Is it a course?
Yeah, course.
No.
I forget words mid-recording.
I didn't look at your syllabus, so I really couldn't tell you.
It doesn't have one of those, so I don't feel overwhelmed.
Well, anything to make sure that the new generation with all of our wonderful mental illnesses, quote unquote, can not feel overwhelmed.
Following that, we got a little bit of stock talk we're going to discuss.
And it's not from me. We're going to hear financial advice from Russell James.
Disclaimer, it's not actual financial advice, so don't blame me if you lose money. But I will tell you what I've been doing.
All right.
So, and then after that, we're going to have a Wolf Explains It All segment.
No. It's Wolfsplains.
It's Wolfsplains.
That's right. Get it right.
Wolfsplains.
Wolfsplains It All, baby.
One word. All right, I guess.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm going to be wolfsplaining the hell out of whatever dumbass idea decides to run across my mind at the moment.
All right, so back in December, I signed up for something called Masterclass. This is a website, masterclass.com. What Masterclass is they take people from the top of their fields, and they basically have them put together a course to give their knowledge to other people.
But there's no syllabus.
There's no syllabus.
Okay. College
there
credits
is a
involved?
workbook.
Oh, well, if there's a workbook, then at that point, it might as well be college credit.
But the workbook is optional, and it is basically just kind of like what you're watching. So it's mostly videos, and you select who you want to watch. So the first one that I picked was Bob Iger, CEO of Disney.
I mean, of course you'd pick fucking Disney. Disney owns fucking Marvel, so
yeah,
and Star Wars.
Yeah.
If fucking George Lucas would have fucking made one on how to sell a fucking bunch of shit to fucking Disney, or fucking convince Fox to let you keep the merchandising rights for a fucking movie they probably don't think it's going to be worth a damn anyway until fucking Family Guy comes out with their version of it, then yeah, I would definitely be all about that. But I'm pretty sure our listeners and my wolf pack baby definitely sees through the facade.
Facade. So
it's facade.
I picked Bob Iger first, and his course is on business strategy and leadership. And a couple of the videos are actually case breakdowns for the acquisition of Marvel and the acquisition of Pixar.
Okay.
And
what about Fox? Was Fox in there?
I'm not to the Fox one yet, but there's
that'd be the one I'd be the most interested in.
Fox. Yeah, I'm excited to get to that.
I mean,
one.
motherfucker owns Married with Children. Let's just get that straight right off the bat.
Yes, Disney does own Married with Children. So it's interesting. It's informative. It's not super instructional, but this is kind of like an abstract concept that Bob Iger is going over, which is business strategies and leadership.
Okay.
So I'm very curious to get into some of the other ones, like Neil Gaiman does a storytelling course, and then there's.
So what's Neil Gaiman do? Like what type
Neil
of stories
Gaiman is a writer.
Obviously, hence the storytelling. So
yeah.
what's he wrote? You write an episode of Smallville that I just didn't know about?
No, mostly comics. I mean, he has some books too.
Oh.
The Sandman series by DC, or Vertigo, is Neil. He's written a couple episodes of Doctor Who, which are some of the best episodes.
Doctor what?
Doctor Who.
Doctor what?
Why did I fall for that?
Why wouldn't you have?
How I hate you. This podcast is over. See you guys later.
Doctor Who is on first, and Doctor What's on second.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, I fucking went there.
So recently, Neil Gaiman had an adaptation, which is called Good Omens, which stars David Tennant and...
This master course is not sponsoring us, right?
No.
So this is just of your own personal free
Yes,
will.
This is my own personal
See,
review.
we're not paid to tell you what we think about shit.
Good Omens is on Amazon Prime. And
Is Amazon
it
Prime
stars-
sponsoring us now?
Nope. It stars David Tennant and Michael Sheen. And it is based off of one of Neil Gaiman's stories.
Which
Neil
one?
Gaiman wrote an episode of Lucifer.
Oh, that's such a great show.
I
wonder-
the story that's adapted from is also called Good Omens.
I don't remember the episode. I've seen every episode of Lucifer, but I didn't bother memorizing the name.
The episode that's not the show on Amazon Prime is called Good Omens.
Oh, and the episode's called Lucifer?
No, he also wrote an episode of Lucifer.
Which episode?
God.
God?
In a later season, maybe season 3, came out in 2018. The episode did.
I'm sure it's terrific because you just can't go wrong with that show. God, it's fucking great. Not saying it's the best portrayal of the devil I've ever seen in my life, but it's a really entertaining. It's probably the most entertaining representation of the devil I've ever seen in my life. So, Barry, what is the best representation of the devil you've ever seen in your life in any type of media or movies or TV shows or anything like that?
I mean, the first thing that came to mind was Beelzebub from Pick of Destiny.
Nice. Great reference, by the way. What about you, Russell? What do you think? What's your favorite representation of the devil?
I probably have to go with Mark Pellegrino from Supernatural
Fair point.
because he's like, I don't know, awesome. I guess. Like,
Well, the devil's not
just-
supposed to be awesome. I mean, remember
Well,
your Christian beliefs.
He does a really good job of like being an actual devil.
Best representation. I think the most accurate representation of Lucifer himself is in The Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino.
That's a really good one too.
That is probably the most accurate. So for all of you fans out there of any type of religious anything, that movie is probably the best. Again, most entertaining devil, but I think Al Pacino was the most accurate.
So we're gonna go ahead and represent Nathan. Nathan's favorite depiction of the devil, which he texted
Big
us.
Smooth? Big Smooth from the DQP does, baby. I love your show, by the way, and the Crimson Ring.
His favorite depiction is depiction. His favorite depiction of the devil is Gabriel Byrne from End of Days.
End of Days was one of those movies. That's all I have to say. It's just one of those movies. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Just saying.
All right. Yeah, so this masterclass thing I was talking about, let's bounce back to that for a second. So, basically, they have a subscription service now. So you pay $180, and you get all the courses, and it's $180 a year. But you could probably consume all the courses you wanted to consume inside of a year. But I'm finding it really educational and like interesting perspectives. So far, I've watched a couple of other videos. I haven't full on started another course, but the Bob Iger one's pretty good. So I hope the other ones are at least up to par.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I mean, they probably ain't hawking this shit at $100 bazillion a year. I'm sorry, anything that's like a subscription service that's over $100 a year to me, it's just gargantuan. Not saying it's not worth it. I'm just saying to me, it's like just gargantuan.
Yeah. So
I'll say it. I don't give
luckily
a fuck.
enough, I bought it around Christmas time. They were offering a 2-for-1 special.
All right, double your knowledge and double your fun. Him and his fucking doublemint twin over here.
So I sent Shane. My other code.
From the
and-
DQP does?
From the DQP does.
Fuck yeah. Props to you, Shane.
So maybe he'll come on sometime and talk about the classes that he's watched.
I just want to say, Drafty After Dark
Crickets.
loves you, Shane.
So that's pretty much that. I'm just having a good time with it.
That's fucking awesome, though. I mean, anything you can spend $100 a year on and have a good time with that's not Fallout 76, I say be all for.
Man, I really wanted that to be awesome.
Everybody wanted it to be awesome. That's why they bought it. They're like, okay, maybe if we buy this, it's going to be awesome.
But I feel like we all bought Elder Scrolls Online, and we wanted that to be awesome too.
Yeah, it's just, well, you take a concept that's like just so fucking great because, okay, you remember playing Skyrim, I remember playing Skyrim, everybody remembers playing Skyrim, and if they were like, hey, we're going to put Skyrim online so you can fucking loot and hunt and, you know, one-hit fucking giants with your buddies, you'd be like, oh, dude, this is going to be the greatest fucking game ever. Well, you can't do that, but we got Elder Scrolls Online. You're like, well, fuck it, it's got to be good. And then you get it, and you're like, fuck. Which I heard from a buddy of mine that Elder Scrolls Online actually ended up becoming good at one point or the other. It just took like 2 years, and then by the time Fallout 76, that thing's been such a fucking dumpster fire that you can't even fucking shake a stick at it anymore. It's just like, are you fucking joking? Every time I turn on my fucking video game news now, I hear another fucking scandal involving fucking Fallout 76. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, was this fucking Fallout Gate all over again? You have to send out the fucking plumbers to fucking take care of the fucking leaks?
I thought the game got better. I thought they...
I don't know. I played it a whole lot for like 2 months, and
Yeah, same.
I was super done.
Yeah.
He was
I
super
tried.
done. Not a little done. He was super fucking done.
I tried real hard to love it, and it just wouldn't let me.
If it makes you feel any better, I felt the same way about End of Days. I tried really hard to love that movie, and just didn't happen. I tried really hard.
I don't remember if I like that movie or not.
It's because it's not worth remembering.
I'm
That's
pretty
the
sure I've
thing.
never seen it.
Well, I remembered liking The Ninth Gate, and then I
That's
went
because
back
that
and
movie is
watched...
fucking awesome. No.
No.
That's fucking apples and elephants. You can't even compare the two.
I mean, they're around the same time, and they both have to do with Satan. So
One's
I think
about
I
a-
can compare the two.
One's about
But what
a
I was
fucking
gonna
book,
say
and the other
was-
one's about the fucking... One was about a fucking book that could probably fucking actually exist. The other one was about twisting the fucking Y2K thing to fucking sell mass hysteria. So you go out and max out your fucking credit cards, and then when thinking that the whole debt's gonna get fucking wiped clean, you're gonna get away scot-free, and then when it happened, they're like, oh fuck, we're in fucking debt. And then next thing you know, you got a recession up your ass. Within the fucking .com bubble. I just want everybody to remember this. This was Y2K. For those of you who weren't around to see it, it was a real fucking thing, and I knew the fucking thing wasn't gonna work. I told him when it wasn't gonna fucking work. I was probably 11 fucking years old, and I could fucking see it. When a fucking 11-year-old can see it, and these 40-year-old motherfuckers have no clue what the hell's going on, what does that tell you about society? And we're the problems. These are the same 40-year-olds who told us don't believe anything you read on the internet, who gets all their all their facts from Facebook. I'm just saying, the very left-leaning Facebook, I might add.
Anyway,
And don't edit that, Barry.
I
That's
remember
perfect.
liking The Ninth Gate, which the two movies are in the same genre, so...
They ain't even in the
gonna
same
compare
fucking
them.
VCR.
I mean, they probably were at
No,
some
they
point.
fucking weren't. One you
thought
actually
you were
had on
less
DVD.
argumentative today.
No, I'm fucking making a point. That's 100% right.
Your point makes no sense.
Your point
Anyway.
makes no sense.
I remember having a VCR that you could put 2 tapes in at the same time, and I thought that shit was fucking awesome.
So let me guess,
yeah,
you fucking you put in the fucking Ninth Gate and the End of Days so you could record over the End of Days with the Ninth Gate.
I don't know that I've ever seen either of those, so that probably didn't happen.
I remember watching The Ninth Gate and then rewatching it and thinking that I liked it more and then not really liking it the next time I watched it. I
It's
was
a
just
slow
like,
burn. That's probably why I didn't like it. It's a slow burn.
It's not really a slow burn.
It's a slow burn. You just didn't like it because it was a slow burn. There's nothing wrong with the movie. It's really all on you because it was a slow burn. If you just don't like slow burns, that's exactly what it is.
All right, so Virgin Galactic.
Oh my god!
Last week, Virgin Galactic stock was at $7 and some odd cents.
Outstanding.
And then it doubled.
So what did you buy it at?
I bought it at 15 and some change, like 15.41.
Okay.
And as of right now, it is $3 and some odd cents up from when I bought it.
So 18,
So
19
it's
bucks?
18.9.
Nice.
There are some
Investment advisors?
investment advisors who are predicting it will be the next Amazon stock
What's John McAfee say about it?
I don't know.
I always look to John McAfee when it comes to fucking financial advice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the man who said he was going to chop his dick off if fucking Bitcoin wasn't at 100,000 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Does he
guy.
still have a dick?
I don't know. I would love to see the intervention, though.
However, speaking of Bitcoin, Bitcoin currently sits at $8,338.
It's actually been hanging out there in that range for about a year now.
Yeah, it's been around that. But there is new blockchain technology that is about to hit the market, and that could cause the price to go up.
Or it could not.
It could not, but typically.
What'll happen is the price will go up, you know, probably a couple grand. It'll probably go up to like 11. And this is just my prediction. I have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about. This is what I've seen over the past couple years.
We
so what'll
are
happen
not
is,
giving you financial advice.
not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. It's kind of like Miss Cleo, but with style. So what's going to happen is everybody's going to be like, oh, blockchain technology. So they're going to fucking buy this shit at fucking $8,000. It's going to fucking go up to about 11, maybe 12 grand. And I'm being very conservative on that one. Maybe it might go up higher, but I highly doubt it'll hit 12. But so it's going to go up. All these people that have been sitting on it for fucking ever because they can't get the price over fucking 10 grand are going to fucking sell their fucking share, convince the hodlers they should stay in, and then the price is going to drop back down to fucking probably 8, maybe 9. One of the things with Bitcoin I have noticed is unless the bottom completely falls out, more times than not, when it goes up and comes back down, it doesn't go back down as far as it was. Right. Now, that could change, you know, depending on the day or whatever. But that's, you know, the numbers I've seen, at least in the past 3 years. The last time it went down super far was when the bottom fell out, and I think the end of 2017. And then after that, every time it's rose up really high, it's come back a little bit. So it's starting to kind of balance out, which is funny because before then they were talking about, oh, you know, Bitcoin, you know, sky's the fucking limit. Well, anything you can fucking gain 20% on in a fucking hour, you can lose 20% on in an hour. That's the thing. It's the whole thing's gambling.
Right.
But it's been around long enough to where there's really not a lot of new buyers. A lot of these people are just moving their money from other cryptocurrencies into Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin's market share right now, it's probably around like 85% of all the cryptocurrencies, all like, you know, 3,000 of them or some ridiculous ass shit. But when Bitcoin was at like 17,000, 18,000, Bitcoin only held 50% of the actual market share in cryptocurrencies. So that's essentially saying is people are just moving their money around or, you know, selling it essentially.
And even if Bitcoin tanks and it never goes anywhere or like continues or starts a downtrend and stays there, there are better ways to invest in Bitcoin than just purchasing pieces of Bitcoin. Because at this point, you're not going to go out and purchase a whole Bitcoin. Like you're purchasing.
Well, you're
fractions.
not. Somebody
I'm
might.
not. Yeah. You're basically going to purchase fractions, which you can do. You can go drop $200 in Bitcoin, buy $200 worth of Bitcoin, and you'll get a fraction of a Bitcoin. So, but the better way to invest in Bitcoin that I've been reading is to invest in companies who are developing blockchain technology. So blockchain is what makes cryptocurrency what it is. It's what makes Bitcoin.
Can you go into
reliable.
like a detail of what blockchain technology really is? Because I feel like that term gets thrown around a lot, but nobody really knows what it means.
So essentially,
it's kind of like hearing there's
It's
like hearing there's electrolytes in your water. Well, what the fuck's an electrolyte?
The example that I read that made the most sense to me was blockchain technology. There's a block of information. And when that first block of information is created, so let's say someone purchases a Bitcoin. So you Wolf, you purchased a Bitcoin.
Okay.
You went out and spent $8,300 on a Bitcoin. You have a Bitcoin.
Hope I borrowed the money from you.
Essentially, that Bitcoin can be tracked all the way back to its initial inception.
Okay.
So if somehow your Bitcoin came up stolen and there was no transaction of you getting rid of the Bitcoin, you would still have the Bitcoin. So it's basically theft proof currently. Now, will someone figure something out later on? I mean, that usually happens. But it's the whole point of blockchain is the security.
Okay, so let's look at the security because there's a lot of different avenues I want to go with while we're talking about the security of Bitcoin. Now, I think I've seen something about a year ago that was talking about there was a way you could actually hack the blockchain technology. I'm not saying it hasn't got better. It's not foolproof. I don't fucking know. I don't know the details. But, so essentially, you could just create something out of nothing for thin air. Now, the thing is the reason I think a reason a lot of people like it is there is no central bank in charge of it.
Right.
Now, that could present a problem or it could not. And what I mean by that is it's a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. So the way it works right now is the central banks run everything. They run, if you have $1 in your pocket, it is not $1, it is a Federal Reserve note. I mean, it's $1, but you get the idea. It has no real representational value other than what the central bank claims that the dollar represents or the Federal Reserve note. Which it's very important to remember that because essentially at this point you're dealing with fiat currencies.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just the US that has this. The US does have the world reserve currency, but other currencies like the Deutschmark or the franc or the euro or the pound or whatever currency you're looking at, they all run off of the same central bank system, which makes everybody's currency just, again, it goes back to being a double-edged sword. So, one could fall, one could rise, shit like that. But there's somebody essentially in the driver's seat to make sure the market just doesn't completely fucking tank. Yeah. Now, you could look at it through a very libertarian standpoint and be like, well, the market's not going to tank. That's what the market's designed for, to keep everything fucking going. But what they would argue is like, no, we need somebody to actually keep track of this and to keep everything running. And there's pros and cons to both. So the chances that your dollar is going to be worth nothing is slim to none. On an open market, there could be a chance your dollar's not worth a damn.
Right.
Now, the reason is that the dollar is so important is, because nobody makes, and I say nobody, meaning that I don't think there's a lot of jobs paying in Bitcoin.
No, there are no jobs paying in Bitcoin.
But you can take your dollar anywhere and it's good.
Yeah, and most places outside of America, there are a lot of places outside of America, countries that have accepted Bitcoin as a form of currency, that you can use Bitcoin for transactions.
I think some countries even, or not countries, I believe some companies even in America can or will.
Yeah, it's mostly digital, but Bitcoin is not an official currency in America.
Yeah.
That was a big thing that they were trying to achieve that basically Congress shot down.
Oh, it's okay though, but you know what Congress didn't shoot down? That if you make money off your Bitcoin, you still have to pay the taxes on it. And you have to pay taxes on every transaction you make from one cryptocurrency to another, if I'm understanding the law correctly. It's not an official currency, but you still have to pay taxes on it. So, tell me that ain't the most fucking double talking out of both sides of your fucking mouth shit I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yep. So you have a segment prepared.
I have a segment prepared.
Wolf explains it all?
No, it's Wolfsplains.
Wolfsplains.
Wolfsplains, adjective.
Okay.
Not 2 words. One word.
Okay.
And you can spell it however the fuck you want because spelling doesn't count. So, on this rendition of Wolfsplains It All, I just want to let everybody know I watched a very uplifting movie, and no, it was not on Showtime or Lifetime, just in case you were curious.
Hallmark?
I thought it was a Hallmark movie at first, but then I realized that it wasn't. The budget was more than $50, so that ruled Hallmark out immediately. So, I watched a very uplifting movie, and I'm sure, and it just hit DVD, I'm sure a lot of people seen it. So, I watched Joker.
Okay. With Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes.
All right. So, we
Mr. Walk the Line.
Talk about the social commentary?
The social Oh, you mean how the whole thing is about fucking the poor rising up against the rich and the whole fucking French Revolution shit?
Yeah, there's some of that.
How boring. You mean we're gonna are we gonna talk about how the left and right are divided and the whole thing is just the amount of income inequality is so unsustainable right now that even in the movie you're gonna have mass riots kind of like you have now?
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Boo, that's boring. That movie doesn't no.
Okay.
It's boring. Nobody gives a shit about that.
So what the fuck are you gonna talk about with this movie?
This whole movie is a very uplifting story about a mental patient who is overcoming and conquering not only his fears, but he battles with the duality of himself while overcoming his most pertinent display of insecurities.
Okay.
And I like to call these, much like the Catholic Church, the 7 deadly sins.
You fucking kidding me?
Did we watch the same movie?
This is another wacky theory.
No, this is fucking foolproof. This is right on par.
I swear to God, if this is another fucking Ernest bit.
If you could oh yeah, just because fucking Ernest. We all know that movie was propaganda. We all fucking know it. Just like Ernest Goes to Jail was fucking propaganda to privatize prisons. We all fucking know it. Nobody says it out loud, but we all know it.
Just do the fucking segment.
So, on this rendition of Wolfsplains It All. So, the opening scene of Joker, if you look at the first few scenes, it explains the entire movie in and of itself completely.
Okay.
When he's looking in the mirror and he's doing his makeup or whatever, if you look to his left, there's, another clown, which is another coworker or whatever. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert, this whole thing is filled with spoiler, and spoiler. So, if you look to the left of him, there's a clown, a unicycle, and it's a lot brighter. If you look to the right of him, it's really dark. It's just, a locker and a bench or whatever. And it's very dark on that side. And as he's looking in the mirror doing his makeup, he's essentially, it represents the duality of it. And the same thing happens at the shrink office. The way the lighting is I think you have like 2 lights on each side. One of them slightly dimmer than the other. And then her desk lamp is on one side. So it makes it look like one side of the room's more lit up than the other.
Okay.
It's supposed to be the battle of the duality that he's about to go through.
All right.
And I did love when the kids fucking stole his sign because it was a callback to his fucking, when he did that movie Signs, and it was like, dude, this is the worst movie you've ever fucking done. That's why he got hit in the face with a sign. A lot of people don't know that.
I'm sure that's what it was.
What else would it be? Let's just I'm serious.
Nope, go ahead, keep going.
He didn't have to walk the line. He did that movie fucking Signs. They're like, that was a bad fucking movie. Slam right in the face. Right in the face. So, when he tells the shrink that he needs his meds up, the first thing she does is say, well, you're on 7 different medications. 7. 7 is the fucking number. 7 as in the 7 deadly sins.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you read his joke notebook, whatever, he said, I hope my death makes more sense than my life, or something of that sort. But the way sense is spelled is CENTS.
Yeah.
As in money sense.
Right.
Which means the first one he's going to go after is greed.
Okay.
Then when he gets his medicine later from the fucking lit up pharmacy, everything else is dark. In other words, the only thing making money in this town is the fucking pharmacy. Got to keep the drugs, but enough of the social commentary. He pulls 3 pills out of the bag, which means he already has his clues. He has to go after greed first, and greed is 3 times amount. So he has to knock off 3 people. And I'm going to go in the stages of the deaths of we see these people, because technically the people themselves do not matter. It's what they represent.
Okay.
And if you look at any YouTube video in the fucking world or any other fucking theory about it, it's like, oh, it was all in his mind. Some of it was, some of it wasn't. No. It's not the fact of if it was in his mind or not. It's the fact of him overcoming his sins. And that's very important.
Okay.
So the people themselves dying doesn't matter. It's what they represent. Oh, and another thing too, when he leaves the shrink office, he's riding on the subway.
Mm-hmm.
He's riding on the subway, and it's kind of like the train to hell, kind of like the river Styx, the Dante's Inferno. It has a lot of that, and the staircase is the same, represents kind of the same thing.
Okay.
The very mundane, very hellish experience for the Divine Comedy, I guess. So, as we go into this, oh, and by the way, just really quick thing, his mom's name's Penny. I cannot stress how much it tells you that greed is the first sin that has to fucking go in this movie. So, which brings us to the 7 deadly sins, which I'll just jump right into it and we'll go from there. So, first one, right off the fucking bat, is this happens, and I just want everybody to know he does not start this until he gets fired from his job, where he then bashes his head against a phone booth, and the glass shattering is like the facade's broke. So the mask is broke, it's coming off, he's at his breaking point, it is time to start his fucking journey.
What did you just say?
I said facade.
Oh, damn it.
I'm proud of you.
I got some notes and I wrote it like it actually sounds. So, I told you spelling doesn't count.
All right, spelling doesn't count. Let's go on.
The subway. 3 bankers. 3 bankers fucking with this fucking chick. You let her find out. You look no fucking further than the greed of investment bankers. And you can talk to literally anybody. It's the social commentary part of it. But, and I hope everybody realized my air quotes while I said social commentary, because I realize you can't see me. So, greed, 1, knocked off the bankers. And after he did that, he did like a dance thing, which him dancing in this movie comes up more and more. But it's very important because he's essentially dancing with his demons.
Yeah.
Dancing with, for those of you who've never heard that term, dancing with your demons is pretty much overcoming your problems, overcoming your issue, overcoming your obstacle. Which, either overcoming or making peace or, whatever. So I digress. Then, I think the neighbor's actually next, and this is up for debate if he killed the neighbor or not. We're just gonna say he did because it makes my theory make sense. So, the neighbor that he imagined this entire time, and that's what's important. That's why the movie showed that he imagined this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't her, it was the lust.
Okay.
It was the lust. He lusted after her. He didn't have a real relationship with her. It was all in his mind. So, it was the lust. That's the part that actually matters. So, second sin knocked down. The third one was his mom, Penny. And I know what you're probably thinking. Well, doesn't Penny have to do with money? Yes, but if you look at what his mom actually represents, you never see her stand, you never see her walk, you never see her do anything. She's extremely lazy or sloth.
Yeah.
You look at the coworker who ended up giving him his new toy or whatever. He is a fat motherfucker. That's gluttony in and of itself.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it being a Joker movie, you have to watch fucking Thomas and Martha Wayne get fucking killed in a fucking alley and the pearls go fucking everywhere and, because it has to be a fucking origin of some sort. Thomas Wayne in that movie represents pride. Okay. Every time he talked to him, he's very prideful. Thomas Wayne is extremely, pick yourself up by your bootstraps and, a lot of that fucking rhetoric you hear nowadays, which, again, nothing to do with social commentary. It just happens to fit the narrative.
Yeah.
And then everybody's going to be like, well, you kind of skipped one. It's like, well, don't get too jealous or envious because that's what fucking Murray Franklin was. He was envy.
Okay.
Because he always watched the show. He always wanted to be on the show. He always wanted to be, that guy.
Yeah.
So he was very jealous. He was very envious of him. Now, as he's doing this, he's enacting his actual sin.
Okay.
Wrath. He is the one who is bringing the wrath. Now, this comes through in multiple different directions. Everybody he offs, he does it in a very, very brutal way. Like, very wrathful, like bringing the hand of God down.
Yeah.
And you could even look at the riots or, the background or whatever as his wrath just essentially consuming the city. Now, at the end, after, Thomas and Martha Wayne get, shot in the alley, essentially it's complete. The whole thing is complete. And he starts dancing on the cop car after it got, wrecked and he got released or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, at that point, he's making a callback to 2 Jokers.
Okay.
The 2 previous Jokers before him, and I'm ruling out Jared Leto. I'm going to go straight with the Heath Ledger and the Jack Nicholson. No disrespect to Jared Leto, but, 5 minutes in a B-rated fucking movie is not enough to fucking deduce if you're a good Joker or not. So, Heath Ledger always said that he's an agent of chaos. He's an agent of chaos. And the only thing you see in this movie is him actually be the real agent of chaos that Heath Ledger always proclaimed to be.
Right.
So,
because Heath Ledger was in fact the man with the plan.
Oh, you and your plans. This guy had no plan. Yeah, legitimately none. Had no plan. So, he makes a callback to that because he is actually the agent of chaos Heath Ledger always proclaimed to be.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, where he's dancing on the squad car, everything's essentially complete. He is no longer dancing with his demon. He's dancing with the granddaddy of demons, the devil. He is dancing with the devil and the pale moonlight,
Okay.
which is a callback to the Jack Nicholson of 1989.
Yeah.
So the whole movie in and of itself is a very uplifting story about overcoming your demons, overcoming your problems, and moving forward.
Okay. That's interesting. That's surprisingly
Insightful.
insightful and cohesive.
Yeah. And for everybody who's like, oh, well, all the people that died, it's not the people dying, is what the people represent. That's what the most important thing is. It's
Right.
not that, he shot a talk show host or, threw a pillow over his mom's face or,
it's what they represented to
it's
him.
what they represented.
Yeah.
So very, very uplifting movie.
Well, that's a really good breakdown, and surprisingly, I enjoyed that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Now I'm excited to hear the next one now.
Oh,
I'd be a
it's
little
going to be
worried, but
fucking great.
all right.
It's going to be fucking
I'm
great.
down. We're going to keep doing this segment.
It's going to be fucking awesome. Wolfsplains It All, baby! If you have an idea for Wolfsplains It All, please email us at
draftyq@gmail.com.
and I will take any type of more or less fictional. I try to stay in the fictional realm. I don't want to come off sounding like a complete crackpot nutcase, but in the fictional realm, I don't care.
You can also tweet us or message us on Instagram at draftyq.
Hashtag Wolfsplains It All.
You can find us on YouTube, Drafty Quarters Productions.
If you're on YouTube and you're on Drafty After Dark, please leave a comment. Let me know if you have an idea on what you want Wolf to Wolfsplain next, and I will probably twist it in some little way that you never thought it actually represented, but in my mind, for some reason, it does.
Yeah, drop some comments, hit the subscribe button, go give us a review.
Yeah. Tell us how great or terrible we are. It took me 5 hours to think up this theory. I just want everybody to know that.
Check out some of the other podcasts on the network. DQP Does, movie review series, Crimson Ring, a wrestling podcast, Drafty Dames, Cassie and Sarah enjoy some lady talk. And returning soon will be Drafty Tunes Reloaded. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's episode. We hope you've enjoyed your drink, and have a good night.